Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Limbus Company reaction. Today we have Canto 9 Boss Theme 6. If you're wondering why I sound like this instead of my usual peppy self, is because I'm ordered to be on vocal rest. If you want to read more about that, there's a community post I made that explains why, but I'm just going to avoid that and get into what should be the final main song of the Canto 9 series, but I'm still pretty sure I need to listen to the other parts of, I think, themes 1 and 3. I still have not checked exactly which ones, but it's one of those, so I'll be going back to those next week. But for this week, it's 6, and I guess without further ado, let's go! Wow, started immediately. Okay. Got a club vibe already. Ayo. Okay. This boss fucks. This boss fucks a lot. Club music is so different from the rest of them, and I'm not entirely sure what that could mean. The obvious answer would be somebody who's like a little bit more street, you know? Somebody who would actually go to or own a club. And now that I've played a little bit of the game, I'm wondering, the only group I know of that's like a gang would be like the Thumb. But there might be another one. But I mean, come the fuck on, right? I just can't help but get into it. I fucking love this type of music. I hate that I can't be excited right now. And what's that for? What's that, like, beep in there? It might not mean anything. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, chill out. You're near the end of the song. Don't just start adding cool shit. Okay, I didn't notice the choir till now. So we have that, like, group-based, repressive, like, whenever I hear, and I know I've mentioned this multiple times, whenever you hear something that's like a choir, that means that there's a group backing them. That's usually something with the character. And now I'm thinking more that it might be somebody like mob or gang related because of that. And like there's that oppressive factor that comes with it because it adds so much more to the density of the sound. And we already had an insanely dense part of the song that was going through at the end. So it's just like, what's happening there, you know? So I'll figure out what the rest of the stuff going on here is. There's not too much I think I'll talk about on music theory for this one, though. I tend to not have too much to say on music theory when it comes to electronic music, purely because there's not too much to dissect a lot of the time. It's not that there isn't music theory involved, it just doesn't utilize certain aspects that are more interesting to talk about. It's music theory, and the theory comes from the structure of the song, and the intrigue of EDM comes more from the sound design. So those are two different camps and not really worth discussing music theory about a lot of the time. There are definitely exceptions, but this one just seemed to be a very heavy EDM, like crank it house club, really having fun sort of song. And it also is very oppressive, like I mentioned at the end of the reaction there. So it's like, now I'm sitting here really wondering if I'm correct about this being somebody who's like gang affiliated, because that's something that would totally be against the grain, kind of counterculture to the rest of the themes that I've heard so far, and I would not be shocked if that were the case. The thing with that is that there is no reason why there would be this genre out of nowhere when all of the other songs we've heard have been largely orchestral or borrowing from much more reserved or classical genres that show their intensity through an emotional pressure instead of this, which is electronic and shows all of its pressure through basically exclusively sound design and those elements. So there's really not anything but pressure here. Somebody who is coming at you with everything they got, doesn't give a shit, is pummeling the fuck out of you. And I just had to look up the terms because I think I got it wrong when I said the thumb earlier, and I was right that I got it wrong. I meant like the ting tang gang, like it was just the T that got me. My brain does not hold information like that well until I'm like really into it, and I just learned about them in the gameplay like what, a week ago. So give me time there, give me a little bit of space to figure all that out. I know that there are syndicates, but that's the only one that I've experienced, and the T just stuck in my brain. So I suppose this character could be from that gang, the Ting Tang gang specifically, could be from any other syndicate. All I know is that those bean-hating sons of bitches love their casinos and music, so why the fuck not? Would not be shocked at all, but it easily could be a different one. I don't fucking know. All I can tell is that this song has a clubby vibe to it that's different from all of the other songs we've gotten so far, and it is insanely oppressive as a result of that. And I'm really harping on that oppression because that's what EDM does. Again, I mentioned earlier that the oppression comes from a different place. When we get like oppressive energy from a more classical or kind of like choral sound, it sounds more like it is being thought with that emotion I mentioned earlier as well. Whereas this doesn't have nearly as much of that. It's all power, it's all energy. EDM is largely at its core just energy. So why would you have anything else associated with that that isn't just raw, unmitigated power that's trying to beat the ever-loving shit out of you? I would not be shocked if that were the case. Just that it fits, you know? It's kind of like if I were to hear an orchestral theme, I wouldn't have put them into a gang. It would have been something different. But the fact that this is such a standout sound from all the other characters I've heard, that's the best guess I've gotten, knowing that these are different types of characters who go for different aesthetics, really. And of course, as a result of that, their ways of handling everything is different, so their music reflecting them is going to be different. But we did get a little bit of that at the end, that like orchestral choral sound at the end of the song there. And again, that kind of reinforced the whole group aspect of it. So the gang thing makes more and more sense the more I think about it. I'm just not sure to what degree or why. I suppose it could also be like a giant robot or something with a similarly electronic adjacent force that could be dangerous and obviously a threat. So it really could be either one of those. I just don't know which one it could be. Again, the part that kind of sucks with this is that I can't tell much about the song as a result of it being different from the emotional aspects of the other themes compared to this one that is just that EDM sound. There's really nothing emotional to grab a hold of, so I'm feeling like the character themselves probably doesn't either. That would track considering every other song I've heard has had that and this one doesn't. So as a result, I'm thinking, okay, this character probably doesn't have emotional ties to fuck all anything and is just attacking you, probably for the love of the game, frankly, and that would totally track with some fuckhead mafia boss out there too. So really anything could be true as always. This could, again, be a giant fucking robot for all I know. Let me know as I'm sure you will, and I'm sure a lot of you are going to be mad at me for getting in the ballpark if I do again, because God forbid I do a little bit of thought when I listen to these songs. People always think I'm like cheating or reading fucking wikis, and I'm not. I'm really just listening, and like I said, I'm comparing it to the other songs, so I'm building out this world and experience I have now with the game, and knowing that there are syndicates involved. I am using context clues. That's not cheating. It's called media literacy, and it's not a cheat code. It's just something that you can do if you do it enough and you listen enough and you associate certain sounds and beats and equipment in certain music to other character types and archetypes. It's something you can learn how to do by listening and doing research and figuring out what each thing means. Like a flamenco guitar is not going to resonate with fucking Beethoven. You know, it's not going to feel the same. You could add it to that, but it wouldn't be the same thing anymore. It would now be like a Spanish flair of a Beethoven song. It changes the context entirely. These are things you can learn. What I'm doing here is just forwarding my thoughts to you guys. If that's a cheat code to some of you guys, then honestly, that's just sad that you haven't thought about music and media in this way. I find that this is insanely enriching. Like listening to music like this and trying to get in the head of the composers and trying to figure out what they mean by what they say. This is why I enjoy things like orchestra, because I'm listening to the music and trying to imagine what the composer was. That's half of the enjoyment for me. If it's not your bag to do that, cool. But also, people calling me a fraud for that's kind of bullshit, not gonna lie. But enough of my fucking soapbox grandstanding about that. Thank you all so very much for watching. Sorry about the throat thing. I know I am definitely a little bit under the energy level I usually am as a result, but that's just to keep my throat safe, because I do have some dangers attached to being, frankly, too energetic, a little too much. And as much as that is my actual way of handling these things and enjoying these things, being excited is part of my being, there is dangers that are associated with that, so I just need to be careful. But if you have another song you want me to get to from this game or anything else, by all means drop in the comments below and I will do my best as always to get to those. Or if you don't want to do any of that and you just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!